put it. Okay. So let's begin officially. Welcome. Welcome to the first online rune class that I'm teaching. Um, I had wanted to begin with music, but that's not going so well as we'd like it to. My intention in teaching this class is to create a foundation whereby the participants can use this work for a spiritual format if they wish. I'm wanting to teach it in a shamanistic way so that we have those foundations of body, emotion, and mind and spirit coming together in harmony. Um, I know everybody's experienced trauma in one form or another, and I was really looking forward to using the drum today
Mm.
to work through that, but we'll just have to do our best without it. Um, so I would just, if we had more people, but we're just going to do this anyway because I'm going to participate too. So, what draws you to the runes? What interests you, and what would you like to get out of it?
Well, what draws me to the runes is actually ancestral. I looked up my ancestry and part of that is um based in Norway and Germany, and I also remember past lives that I was um a shamanic witch. So I just wanted to know more about it, just to, I guess it's for curiosity's sake, but also for to expand my practice.
Yes, you're a Reiki healer too, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the goals that I have for this class is that we learn to embody the runes, like we embody the Reiki symbols, because I'm also a Reiki healer. I don't use it as much now that I've come to the runes because there's just so much more to learn and expand. Um, what brought me to the runes is originally it was on the path of self discovery. I'd been in the Gurdjieff work for a while and I'd learned a few things. And there was a period of time in January of 2013 when I was really bored. I couldn't get outside. There was too much snow. So I found an unread book on my husband's bookshelf called Rune Power by
Hmm.
Kenneth Meadows. And it was like a computer download of the runes into my understanding. And I think I was at that point ready for it because I had played with them a lot as a teenager and not really gotten very far with them. So I knew at that point it was something that would have to be shared. But around the same time, the Norns came to me and they were, them as the three
Yeah.
Scandinavian, goddesses of fate and destiny. Some people wouldn't call them goddesses, they would call them giantesses, but I don't differentiate a whole lot if they are beings that are here to help us with our destiny, our spiritual evolution, conscious evolution, whatever terms you want to give that. So I think in the ruins, I found a path of self discovery and a way of connecting and communicating with the divine
Hmm.
that I can use on a daily basis when I'm feeling out of touch or my own emotions are overwhelming me or, interfering with my connectivity to life itself. I think that's just a good way to say it. So, you have anything more you wanted to add, or should we get into the next step?
Well, um, I actually have had dreams where I was in Valhalla. So
I
that,
remember teaching that class and watching you, and I saw this green light shooting right up when we did the tree meditation. Remember that
yeah,
time?
yeah, I remember that.
I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know I could do that at that time.
And other classes, more advanced classes, I want to start working with the tree more and journeying to the worlds. But
Yeah.
I needed a foundation class first.
Yeah.
So
Well, we can get into it now.
We'll get into it as we can. It's just you and I. We may have that opportunity. Let's see how this goes. So, to begin class today, I would like to invite in Rune, the rune god, the god of the runes, Odin, to enter class time with us and to facilitate our understanding of the runes. Welcome, Odin. Welcome, Odin. Let's say it together one time. Welcome, Odin.
Welcome, Odin.
So let's take a moment to breathe. And this is one of the shamanic breath work that I've learned along the way. To breathe into a count of 4, pause, exhale to a count of 6, pause, and then repeat a few more times because this helps our switch our brain from the everyday, I believe it's beta, into the alpha and deeper phases of meditation that we can get into. So let's begin. Deep breath on the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and pause. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And pause, and we'll do it on our own this time. Deep breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. And one more deep breath in. And exhale. Okay, there was a meditation that I wanted to do that I was really counting on having the drum beat for. I don't know if clapping my hands will do the same thing, but I just want us to go into this. Maybe I'll just talk us through it very softly, but following the drum beat, following your heartbeat. I just want you to know that where you are right now, right here, you are safe, you are safe, you are safe. You are undifferentiated spirit. You are spirit. You learn that a new planet called Midgard is opening for conscious expansion. Travelers will be needed for the experience of descending into matter and rising up again. You are excited to be part of the great adventure, and you decide to incarnate. Feeling your heartbeat, drumming your heartbeat, becoming aware of the new sensations of the body around your spirit. How does it feel to put on flesh and become embodied for the first time? Slowly come back out of it. Take a deep breath and recenter yourself in your body. How did you feel?
Felt relaxed and at ease. And I also felt connected.
Good. felt excited and anticipating. So I wanted to be in a state of embodied when I started drawing the runes out. Do you have that sheet of paper with you to practice on?
Yes, I do. Well,
Okay, so let's practice.
printed them all off. So
Okay, so what I wanted to do to begin is just work on these. I have the video connected to it. Okay, I'm forgetting a step here, but this is okay. I'll find it. Got it. First symbol I wanted to show, I didn't have on the whiteboard. This symbol is called weird, and from it, all the other symbols can be drawn.
okay.
I have it on one of the pages that I sent.
Yeah.
Put that back in the pouch. And as we go through these, I want to at first practice drawing them without trying to understand their meaning, because I want to later, after we draw them, we're going to put them to our third eye and see what we can intuit.
Okay.
Before we go check the meanings out again. Because there are always things that we're going to learn, because everybody is unique. Our intuition is different. Our understanding of symbols is different. Our understanding of life is different. So we're all, even though they have a general meaning in common, there's always interpolations that you can give that I might not arrive at, that give us a broader base of knowledge to work from. So, okay, before I go further, I wanted to, the first 8 of the 24 runes of the Elder Futhark. Let me put this on the whiteboard. You can still hear me talking. Okay, where was I? All right, here we go. Can you see that all right?
Yes.
Let me try to expand it. Do you see the whole whiteboard or just part of it?
Just part of it.
Okay, let me try to make that bigger. Hang on. What was that? Okay, now we got it, right?
Right.
We got it along the top.
Yes.
And I just wanted to show this. Then I'm going to go to the other video camera so that I can draw them better. I can draw them on here. I can try it. Okay, so the first one we have is Fehu. Well, before I started, I wanted to say the first 8 of the 24 of the Elder Futhark is about the descent of spirit into matter. That's why I did the meditation that I did. So it's the intention of spirit coming down into matter. And as we draw the runes and open to feeling of their energies, I will ask you to keep this in mind. The 3 rows of the 8s represent the triad of creation, destruction, and balance. So we can say it another way, with being or presence as the fulcrum between the forces of chaos and order. We can say it yet another way, and I'm drawing on my Gurdjieff work here when I call it the force plus, the force minus, and the force equalizing, which shows up in modern science with protons, electrons, and neutrons. Or we could say it a fourth way is the active force, the passive force, and the balancing force. So this law of 3 is the basic meaning behind the symbol of the Valknut, with its 3 triads, each containing its own triad. So I showed you the symbol weird because from it everything comes. All the runes may be drawn from this figure, and maybe you will discover some shapes of your own. Weird is the ground of being in which all past actions are overlaid, creating the present as we know it. And from the present, we can draw the threads of potential for what should come to be. So the term weird is very much under the oversight of the Norns, who manage the weave of all that was, is, and will be. They oversee cause, effect, and consequences of our actions. And as you look at this symbol and the symbols that are illustrated for today's work, you can feel this, or you can test this. You trace the shape of the stave inside this diagram, and this diagram can act as a guide for you if you feel confused about drawing any of these shapes at any time. Okay. And learning about the runes is not like college learning where you have to memorize it. It's more about learning through your feelings, through your being, embodying them through your being into your light body so that you hold these symbols of a more advanced way of knowing and relating and sensing about life. They are a gift from Odin to facilitate our life journey. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the other video and draw them. Okay, something is not working with this. Well then, I guess I'm going to have to go back to the whiteboard. I had upgraded my copy of Zoom, but for some reason it's not letting me get my webcam on here. But it was working earlier. I don't know what's going on. Technology. Technology.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's okay. We have the other way to do it. So we're not totally without resources. Although I could feel a little bit happier if I had all my fun tools at hand. Okay, so I'm going to do this with my finger on this rollerboard thing and see how well I can do it. All right, so when I draw these, I'm usually pretty intentional about how I do it. And I like to bring my thoughts of the rune itself into what I'm doing. So because this is the first 8, it's about descent into matter. I draw the long line going straight down. Then the 2 lines coming up, I visualize is like us raising our arms back toward heaven. So we can practice again with the long line coming down, the 2 arms reaching up. And you can practice that until you feel confident. Hopefully I gave us enough space to do it.
Well, you did here.
Okay. So Fehu is the first one. And I know what I said about being intuitive. I'm just going to talk about it a little bit. It's like the life force energy from which everything comes. And so we can say it is undifferentiated spirit and all potential. Then when we get to the second rune, this is Waruz. This is the aurochs. This is the wild cattle that the Norsemen would have known. And you can draw it in one straight line, sort of like the overline of a cattle grazing. I realize in my example, I drew it backwards. I'm not sure if it matters. I'll have to correct my example because I think it's supposed to be where the higher point is on the right. I have days when I'm a little dyslexic. What can I say?
It's okay.
As long as you know what it is. And the example of ruse can be spirit becoming embodied in the animal nature. The third rune, Thurisaz, can also be drawn with a straight line down. And then I come with the point this way. Thurisaz translates as the thorn. You know, There are things that bother us when we're embodied, the flies that bite, the thorns on the rose bush or the apple tree. But this is also the rune where um, it's about the giants, and the giants also called Jotun. Some people call them Thurs. That's where it gets the name Thurisaz, or Etten are other terms for it. Are forces in nature that are not always friendly to humanity, but they're not always against humanity either. It's just we have to learn to work within the forces that we find ourselves. It's also the rune of the god Thor, who protects the gods and humanity from the giants. So this is why we have the guard, Asgard, guard. It's where we come together to work together for our own protection. You know, in the wilderness that the ancients knew, they would have had to work together for their survival. It helps us to remember sometimes, you know, with all of the modern conveniences that we enjoy, electricity and shelter and ready-made houses and washing machines and dryers, that people living in primitive times didn't have any of those things. And I sometimes, even though I have moments when the power goes out, my favorite word is not always nice, but then I remind myself of the ancestors and what hardships they put up with as we go along. And I'm able to find myself more in my own inner equilibrium instead of displeased by my own ego's wish to have everything convenient all the time.
Yeah.
So I should also say, if you have any questions come up as we're doing this, just ask. I don't want to just be here talking for my own sake,
Okay.
you know. So Ansu's is the fourth rune, and this is the rune of the gods. Now, sometimes I draw this facing down because, and the arms facing down because it's the gods answering humanity's need. Or sometimes I draw it facing this way because I'm reminding myself that I'm turning to the gods for help and succor and guidance. So, whichever way feels right to you, just do it with intention. Today, I feel like doing it this way, so this is what I'm going to do. And somewhere within the next couple of lessons, I am looking to find more of the resources of how the runes historically originated. There's a lot of different opinions out there. So I have copied the Greek, the Phoenician, the Etruscan,
Yeah.
the Latin alphabets, and I'm going to look at them and make the comparisons, because not all of them came from people want to believe they came from the Phoenician or they came from the Greek. There's a few letters in common, but the order of the letters of the Scandinavian Futhark is not the same. And then there was another rune that I found in a video podcast from the hand of Urlegi, which is a Basque alphabet that has nothing to do with the Germanic tribes. So I'm thinking they borrowed from a wide range of resources. And my personal feeling is that it was someone who wanted to assign the alphabet so that the ancient shamanic knowledge of the Germanic tribes would not be lost during the Romanization and the Christianization of the continent of Europe. So you saw me draw Rido, which is a continual line from start to finish. And Rido is the journey rune. It gives rise from the word ride or raid, where people would ride and raid.
Yeah.
But it also relates to the natural laws and the rhythms of the stars across the universe. There were stories in ancient times of how Thor would drive his goat cart across the heavens in search of giants to slaughter and maim and kill. And so, and there was also the one god Tyr, who was the North Star, that was always for our guidance when people were navigating at night. Now, I've seen this rune drawn with the point closed or not.
Okay.
You know,
I guess.
it's you do your best, you do what feels right, and do it with intention.
Yeah, I've been just learn I put the intention that I want to learn the rune each time moving forward. Like I'm doing it with the intention of knowledge.
But don't let it just be head knowledge, Ellie. Take it
No.
into your heart,
Yeah,
because it's the combination of head knowledge and heart knowledge that gives us understanding.
right. I guess I should have been a little bit clearer in saying it's more like inner knowledge.
Take it into your being.
Yes.
I like that word being a lot because that is really where, I mean, spirit is existence, it's being. I mean, this is where words fall apart for metaphysicians,
Yeah.
physicians, because there are things that can only be felt and experienced on a high level through experience. You can't really talk about it because people won't know it until they have that experience for themselves. So I just
I,
do my poor best to make language, but that's one of the things too, be as specific as you can with your words, because that will set your intention that much more deeply.
okay. I I just don't have any words for it right now. I'm just setting the intention to take it in and
Embody
uh,
it.
embody it. Not just yes, I use the knowledge word, but taking it in as my own inner knowledge. Do you understand?
Yes,
Okay.
been there. Yes. So if I say too much, I'm just trying to help. It's
It's
not
okay.
it's not that I'm, saying somebody doesn't know. I don't always know what you know, you know.
I don't know much about runes other than what was in your book and um just I'm feeling them more than I'm
And that's the important thing. It's about intuition and developing the intuition and the trust of your intuition. So we'll go with that. How's that?
yeah.
So the next rune Kenaz is all about knowledge. Okay. It's like it's interprets as the fire torch, which
Hmm.
could be the hearth fire or a heart fire or the fire in your brain that comes when you're curious about something and you absolutely want to learn it and master it. And there's a book called The Fire in the Head by Tom Cohen, who is an Irish shaman. It's the fire of learning, the fire of wanting to know. And that is, I'm just going to say, curiosity is one of my own favorite traits. So we'll go with that. So
Yeah.
this one I just draw from the upper right corner to the point and down to the lower right corner. This rune is also about being open-minded.
as I draw this, I'm feeling a sensation in my gut.
Good. Is it your solar plexus area?
Yeah,
Good. Solar plexus is the area of our inner fire.
makes sense.
It's like the root chakra is earth, the sacral chakra is water, the solar plexus is fire, the heart is air. Anything above that is just like you come into the higher levels. The throat is expression, creativity,
Yeah.
what you give voice to from what you've created from the lower chakras. And the third eye is your intuition,
Mhm.
but that's light. That's where
Mm.
your pineal gland is. That's
Yes,
where you let light into your being. And the crown chakra, well, that's just where everything comes in. You know, it's amazing. I
it's
just
like I'm being reminded, intuitively, I'm being reminded you've done this before.
yes, and we'll do it again. You know, especially if we have the heart for being a bodhisattva. You know what I'm talking about with that one? That
No.
they are the enlightened beings of Buddhism who
Oh,
chose to reincarnate to share the knowledge of enlightenment with others. But even though there are these people coming in, you know, we may be among them or not. I don't judge that. Just knowing we have to overcome our conditioning anyway.
yes.
And I've been going through a lot of that lately, and I have to look back and laugh at myself, you know, just for the stuff I had to uncover before I could realize that we are all, you know, we come in knowing what we want to accomplish. Then we have to go through the whole gamut of conditioned awareness. And what do
Hmm.
we make of it? Sometimes our choices take us closer to it, and sometimes they take us farther away from it,
Hmm.
you know. And I sometimes I dream of the Divine Comedy, and I'll be in that theater, you know, and I have to see things going on, and I just laugh and laugh and laugh. And I'm not laughing at anything, just at the irony of the whole drama as it plays out over and over, because we come in and we forget, and we have
Yes.
to rise up through it. So it's just I'm weird, I guess.
No, I get it.
Now this next rune is Gabo. This is the rune of partnership, friendship, marriage, our union with the divine, and it is two lines drawn that are equal. It's like an equal armed cross. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And if you look at this rune very carefully, it has no reversal.
I I see that. It's all
Just,
equal on all
yep.
sides.
When we learn to interpret the runes later on in the class, there are different meanings for their reversal. Some runes are, shall I use the word nastier than others in their reversal, or just maybe bear a greater warning? That would be a better way to say it, wouldn't it? They bear a greater warning. But I have never found predicting the future to be set in stone, because we always have the freedom to change our minds when things happen. So
Hmm.
I never will make a prediction during my own readings that things are absolute. You know, it's just more of, I find the runes to be, at least when I channel them and work with them in my with my clients, to be a revelation of what's going on emotionally behind the scenes. And so when I dialogue with my clients from that point, we can just sort of focus on how they're feeling, what they're thinking about. And if there's like old patterns to be released, we can do something to do that, so they don't have to go on into the same, repeating the same stuff over and over. But
Yeah, I get it. It's like breaking the chain.
exactly. And that's where a lot of ancestor work comes in too. You know, we break the patterns for our ancestors as well as for ourselves. I mean, I have a dear friend she's a recovered alcoholic, and she is so grateful that she's been able to do this work to free her ancestors. I mean, she's really inspiring to talk with. I guess this whiteboard isn't working out too badly.
No, it's actually, I can definitely see what you're doing and how you're doing it.
Yeah, and that was a problem I had with the videos I was making with the runes. It was like my fingers kept covering up those little staves. I'm like, how can people see this? I have to redo it. And now I'm not able to use that little camcorder. I'm like, to figure this out another way. Maybe photographs or maybe through my iPhone video. But then I just have to learn the file formats to put them on the line. So it'll be okay. I'll figure it out. I have Knas to rely upon.
Okay.
When I'm in difficulty, chant Knas. The runes could be, sung, chanted, written. This is the fun part about all of it. Now, this final rune is Wunyo, and it is absolute joy. And its reversal is absolute suffering. But this is the joy you find when you accomplish something. This is the joy you find when you are with people who really make your heart sing, like your husband or your friends or your parents.
Hmm.
Because I know you're close to your parents, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
Friendships too.
of course. I have a question.
Hmm.
I just not that I have it memorized, but I just happened to draw the one that looks like an R.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, you went like that instead of the P.
Yeah. I just wonder if it,
Believe it.
yeah,
Draw the next one without the stem.
yeah. I just wonder if sometimes there's a message when I start writing because I do automatic writing.
Well, there's a journey toward joy, isn't there?
Yes.
Now you said that, I almost did it at the second time, but it's okay. It's the Elder Futhark is not the only Futhark, and in one of the ones that evolved more recently, there is a symbol called Halch, and it's like the Holy Grail. It's that which will bring you more happiness than anything else, and we never quite reach it. But if we
Hmm.
don't try, we won't come close.
I got chills.
It's true. And I'll be teaching about those in future classes. But I wanted to start with this one because this one, this Futhark, you can do so much more with it. If you've read my book, you can have rune times at any hour of the day. You can figure
Hmm.
that out. You can have rune times at any time of the year and figure that out. So if you're doing magical workings, you can time it, your ritual, to have more power within that frame of time when the rune has power.
Okay.
So that said, most of the time I go on the fly anyway, and if I need something, I just embody it right then and there and put the energy out. But it's fun to know this stuff, I think. So that is where we are with the runes right now. Look at my notes here. So now I just wanted to take a little time for another meditation, and this is where I wanted to have the runes really, the drum. But let's put this back on the meeting. Um, So this one is another meditation for embodiment, but it's going to lead us through a little bit through the chakras. It's going to
Okay.
a little differently than the Hindu chakras. I mean, the chakras are known worldwide. to indigenous peoples worldwide. They had them in South, in Peru, and they had them to the indigenous tribes of America. The Native American people had them. So it's how they are seen in the body is, I mean, if you are traditional Hindu, you will have the red root and the orange sacral and the yellow solar and the green or pink heart and the light blue throat, the white or indigo here and the gold up here. But this one ties us in a little bit more to the elements. It's a little more basic. And I find it for myself when my own mental energy gets to be too much for me, when my
Mhm.
OCD kicks in or, I feel overwhelmed or something, it's just that much easier to tune into what I need to do. So I thought I wanted to share it today.
Okay.
Get it from a friend of mine. She's my mentee, my mentor. I'm working
Mhm.
with Kathy Caminero toward my own ministry.
Oh, nice.
But she's helped me a lot. She's one of the most genuine people I've ever met. And she's been through her own hell on earth and risen up and had her NDE. And she's just a wise lady. So, anyway, so we're just going to do this. I don't have the drum again, darn it.
Mhm.
um, so I just want you to sit quietly. And are you used to putting attention to the sensation of your body?
Yes, I do that all the time in my.
Okay, good. And we're going to do that for this exercise. We're going to rise up through them a little bit at a time. So, with your attention on your feet, I'm just going to talk it slowly, but okay. How about if I give you a quick rundown of what we're going to chant together? So
Okay.
the root chakra will be brown earth 4 times, and then the sacral chakra will be blue water 4 times. Then the area between the solar plexus and the heart will be red fire 4 times. And rising up to the throat chakra will be lavender air. And
Okay.
I'm not going to go any higher than the third eye because the next exercise is going to be fun. That's white light. And then we'll come back down by saying it once.
Okay.
And we'll take a deep breath in between each one.
Do you
So,
want my thing muted or?
oh, I don't care. It's just the two of us.
Okay.
Now, if we had a big group of 10 or 30 people, it would be different.
Okay.
So, just sitting quietly, take a couple of deep breaths like we did before. Beginning with attention to the sensation of our feet. Let's chant brown earth 4 times. Brown earth, brown earth, brown earth, brown earth. Deep breath. Raise your sensation up to your seat area, your sacral area, your womb. And 4 times. Blue water,
Blue water.
blue water,
Blue water.
blue water,
Blue water.
blue water.
Blue water.
And the sensation can rise up to your solar plexus, toward your heart. 4 times. Red fire,
Red fire.
red fire,
Red fire.
red fire,
Red fire.
red fire.
Red fire.
Deep breath. 4 times. Lavender air,
Lavender air.
lavender air,
Lavender air.
lavender air,
Lavender air.
lavender air.
Lavender air.
Rise up to the third eye. White light,
White light.
white light,
White light.
white light,
White light.
white light.
White light.
Allow yourself to enjoy the full embodiment of sensation. And we will come down 1 time. White light,
White light.
lavender air,
Lavender air.
red fire,
red fire,
blue water,
blue water,
brown earth.
brown earth.
And with that fun level of embodied sensation, did you happen to get yourself any 3x5 cards?
Oh, I forgot those.
You have something you could write on.
Okay,
Maybe a piece of paper you can divide into 8.
I can do that.
Okay, so we haven't made our runes yet. We're going to draw them on something we can shuffle, and then we're going to hold them up to our third eye and take notes of what we receive from each one.
Okay.
That was such a rush for me, that meditation. It was like whoosh. It was like you going up to Valhalla the time I was watching you.
Yeah. I'm just grabbing a couple pieces of paper.
Oh, no rush, no rush. That's why I allowed us 2 hours. I had no idea what we'd be doing or we get enough done, or, I get so nervous before I start these classes, whether I'll have enough information for everybody.
Well, I think you have quite the knowledge base in this, though.
But I want to be able to gift people who come to me with this capacity for their, enhancing their own intuition and
Yeah.
being able to embody it. So you'll have to let me know how well I did after the class is over. Not today, but
Well,
after the 5 weeks.
okay. Well, I got 5. I got the little
Divide it
cards.
one more time.
Huh?
You got 5?
No, I said 5. Anyway,
Okay.
it's 8.
8. Perfect. Perfect. So I'm going to take my little trusty magic marker and I'm going to copy all of these runes onto 8 3x5 cards. And I don't want you to do any more than to copy the rune. I don't
Okay.
want no hints giving yourself. This is just an exercise in relying on our intuition.
So you just want me to write down the runes on
Yes.
each card,
Yes.
like a rune
My
on
first
each?
one. Yes, there's my first one. I'm going to give us about 10 minutes. I think that should be enough time. Um, just going to draw one, and they don't even have to be in order.
Okay.
I'm just drawing one randomly, and I'm going to hold it to my third eye, and I'm going to trust my intuition and see what I get. And
Okay.
I didn't bring my journal, so I'm just going to write it down on the back of my card, whatever I get. Then we can compare it with the list to see how close we were.
So anyone?
Anyone. We're gonna
Okay.
do it for all 8, but they don't have to be in order.
Okay.
Does that sound fun?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Wow. How did that feel for you?
Well, would- I found it really interesting on what I received.
Me too.
So, do you want me to share each one or?
You can share each one. I'll share each one. How do you want to do it? Go ahead.
Well, I went in order, knowing me. I just started pulling cards in the stack I made. At the Fehu, I got gods, um, a pose that I do when and eat an energy medicine called Heaven Rushing In. I saw the arms up.
I don't know that one, but I like to learn, so you could share it.
It's basically about putting the intention out there to receive from the highest and best sources from the the Asir and I felt my crown chakra expanding and a pressure in my head where
At Fehu,
yeah,
maybe there's a healing energy there for you if you meditate with it.
yeah, I felt like it was expanding and um I've been recently wondering about this little thing that I have it's almost like a past life scar because it's a wrinkle in my forehead that isn't just there and I got the sense that it was to remind me to connect and I feel like it was um when I think of it it's like I see a sword going to my head and I'm like anointing something or a past life trauma that remember where you came from. the
I mean, that was your past life. I'm not getting anything on it, but it could be either one. You know,
yeah,
if when I've remembered past lives or had memories of my passing,
yeah,
it's always been kind of like I had to recall the lessons of that moment in time,
yeah.
you know.
I think it's more of a lesson for me to remember that I'm connected.
Hmm. Well, that's a beautiful lesson. Just embody it.
So I don't know how you want to do this one. I go first and
Oh, I got a slew of messages that were related to the same message, so I would just do mine all in one fell swoop. So,
okay,
you want me to do that, or do you want to do yours next, or
I can do mine. They're kind of cryptic, but
it's okay. Did you
the huh?
did you want to check the meaning against the list, or do you want to just go with what you got?
Well, I just oh, Fehu, according to your list here, it's the rune of prosperity, abundance, and wealth.
But it's like the life force energy from which it all springs.
Yeah,
So when I made the list, I was just making the generic interpretations, but the more I work with everything, it's the life force essence that upholds all being. There's no more words.
no.
Metaphysic thing, but
And moving forward, the Urus
peruse.
root, I got transformation and I felt thirsty.
Maybe
So it's,
you need to drink more water. Maybe it's your body telling you that.
yeah. Or maybe it's a thirst for transformation. I don't know.
Could be too. They could be both, actually.
Yeah. Um, then Therese,
Theresa's.
Theresa's, Thor came through and I heard the word anvil, and he's always telling me enough when I've had enough. And he said, let it be.
May I share something I've observed about you over the years?
Yeah.
Just you have such a thirst for learning, and you're always doing new things. But sometimes that substitutes for being with yourself, being enough in yourself. You are enough in yourself. You are good enough as you are. You are perfect as you are. Whether it's perfectly imperfect, you're still perfect as you are. So I think that this is what Thor is telling you too. You don't have to keep reshaping yourself into something new. You're beautiful, you're deep, you're caring, you're enough.
Well, thank you.
Do you
Uh,
feel that way?
well, to go into this,
You don't have to if it's trauma, but I'm just
no, it's the way I was brought up. It was the fact that my parents never knew that they weren't enough. And that kind of translated to me feeling like I wasn't enough.
generational trauma.
Yes.
I had that too. I had that too. And there are moments of deep depression because I still have some of those thought forms. But then I know enough now to know that's not me. It's my conditioning. And I'm able to step back from it and just witness it going on. And then I change my self talk. I am enough. You know,
Yes.
when I get mad at myself, when I those what you know, when I feel depressed or I'm not good enough or something, like I am enough. You just have to, you know,
Own it.
own it. I am
Yeah.
enough. You know, so I get a lot of things because I see a lot of things. I've
Yeah.
experienced a lot of things and felt a lot of things, but that is what, when we can come to terms with ourselves and not attached to a wrong idea of who we are, but detached from the wrong idea of who we are, we can witness ourselves as we are. I don't have to rush off and learn the next, even though it's fun. I don't have to rush off and learn the next rune alphabet because I know this one so well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I am enough. And I'm 65 years old and it's taken me a lifetime. Okay.
Mhm.
So don't feel that you got to catch up with anybody else. This is about you. You are unique. You are an individual. You are special. God loves us all. I love you too, the God in you. It's all of us.
I guess I just need to, own it and internalize it first before I can.
You know what you do? You got this meditation now.
Yes.
Spend some time in your heart chakra and just visualize the light that comes in from your pineal gland in your heart chakra, expanding outward to fill your entire light body. And when you do that, and the vibratory energy of love is there, intentionally drive out all the negative self images. Or it's all imagination anyway, you know, because nothing in the past is real. So even though we revisit a lot of stuff, and that serves to make us feel small in ourselves again, right?
Right.
Just let the light that comes in from meditating with your heart and your mind united drive out those shadows. Allow it. Love yourself a little bit. Dare. I dare you to love yourself a little bit, Ellie.
Okay. I'll take that dare.
Good.
And I guess I'm glad I did this class today because without, I mean, I guess I'm always trying to learn something new, and I guess I just need to step back and
What we can do is take what we already know and learn
mm,
it in a deeper way. That's how we become the master.
okay. I'm just saying okay because I get what you're saying. So, do you want me to continue?
Or I could share with mine if you'd like.
Okay.
I'd like to hear a different perspective. I just drew mine kind of at random. So this was the first one I drew. Righto.
Mm.
And it showed up, it was vibrating. It was more than one. It was dancing across my inner vision. And then the divine dancer turned into me, dancing alone. And then all of a sudden, I'm sorry, I'm going to lose it a little bit here. I was waltzing with my partner who misses me too and wants another chance to be with me in another time around. Okay. That was happy, right?
Yeah.
Then I drew suffering, which is grief. But they said to me, we witnessed your suffering and know at this time it has become necessary to pick up the path of your strength and rune dance. And then they put two runes in my mind. The first one was the weird symbol, and the other one was Othela, which lately I have been interpreting as coming home to myself. The next one, I got a ruse reversed, but they said strength and reversal in the weakening of the body from age with me um, allows for the strengthening of the spirit. I'm taking all of these good, even though I tap into grief a little bit. I've
Yeah.
learned that grief is also a mask for deep love. And this has been my grief journey. I've been learning about love because of it. This one I drew upright on Sue's, and it's the gods shine on you, guidance on your path. Then I drew Kenaz. The fire torch is opening wide in order to receive. Then Thorn, I drew him reversed, the Risaz. And then he says, you have gone deep into the shadows and seen both sides. And the rune that came to me, I drew on the back of it. It's sort of
Oh,
like both the thorns facing both ways, right?
right.
And then Gabo, as you give, so shall you receive. As you live, so shall you love. And if I've learned anything in my life, love is the most important and rewarding thing that I could give or receive. And then Fable came up along with a word that I have to look up because I'm not sure why it came to me, but it was oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then two other runes came up. I sort of did a scribble there. We'll learn
Yeah.
about those there in the second and third 8 of the Futhark. But it's the rune of consciousness and the rune of planting seeds. So that fits with my intention for offering rune classes. I want
Hmm.
to sow seeds of consciousness in people and teach them that the runes is a path to spiritual, to knowing oneself.
Yeah.
And you can do it through the stages of the cross. You could do it through Buddhism. You could take up other means, but this is the one that came to me, and my ancestors asked this of me too. So I'm honoring a promise I made to them.
Well, thank you for sharing.
I was very happy with that. It was like they were just like telling me stuff I needed to hear.
Well, the one, I'll share a couple more if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Um, and Zeus, and I, I need to be grounded in my body more. And he and I got told to work with this rune daily.
That's what you do for this week then. Because one
Yeah.
of the homeworks I was going to give us was to draw a rune to work with for the week from this 8.
And then Radu, I got follow your dreams. And then Kenaz, I got the word incarnate 3 times.
3 times?
3 times. Incarnate, incarnate, incarnate.
You remembered past lifetimes.
Yes, like they were yesterday.
Yeah, I have that experience as well. What do you think it means?
I think it means that I might be incarnated 3 times, parallel lives.
At once? Yeah, that can happen.
Because I can remember my dreams like they happen like real events.
Are you a lucid dreamer?
Yes, very much.
That's pretty cool. I don't get to do that very often. My mind takes me away from it too quickly, but that's really cool.
And then, which is oddly enough, when I got Gabo, I need to find balance in my life. And I got an image of scales,
You're not
which
a
is
Libra, are you?
I'm a Libra.
You're a Libra?
Yeah,
Wow, that fits. Balance. Balance.
I need to balance out my scales.
Libra's also an air sign. An air
Yeah,
sign are full of ideas, and ideas are like ping pong balls going every which way.
I feel like I'm ping pong balling sometimes. I mean, that goes along with what you have noticed in my life. I kind of jump from one thing to another.
Now you can use air because you have an affinity for it to ground yourself through your breathing.
Ah, I never knew that.
So don't forget, it's the oxygen in the air that goes through our bodies and gives us what we need from the air to live. And there's other properties of air too that we don't science doesn't always know about that feed our spiritual evolution. So when you feel like a ping pong, just remind yourself to stop and breathe
Yeah,
and do the counting breath, like, excuse me, like I introduced before.
yeah.
4 in, pause, 6 out, pause, 4 in, and that'll shift your brain state from
The
um,
monkey mind.
well, I'm just going to share this with you because I may have always had a trait like this, but it really became pronounced after Alan passed. And I had been through the deep emotional journey. I was not going to waste a single moment with him. So I was allowing myself to feel everything as deeply as I could.
Yeah.
And yet after it was over, and being that constant state of bittersweet, Brene Brown talks about it being constant flickering in your mind back and forth between sadness and joy. So going like this for 2 years to be present to him while I still had him, I left me with a bit of ADD. You know, most people don't see that in me because I'm so calm outwardly, but my friend and my mentor saw it right away. She says, "You like ADD," and she's one of the things that helps me to stabilize is this deep breathing.
Okay.
So when I feel that mental overwhelm, I just stop and center myself in my body with intentional sensation.
Hmm.
And then I focus on my breathing. And when my breathing slows, my mind calms down and I'm able to better discern the next steps I need to take instead of feeling so overwhelmed by my own mental chaos.
Yeah. I think I need to do that more often.
We could partner with that if you'd like. For the duration of this course, we could hold each other accountable.
Okay.
I could say, "How are you doing this week?" And you could say, "Well," and you could say to me, "How are you doing this week?" And I could say, "Well,"
But the last one that I got, going back to it, the Winyo,
when
is very peaceful.
it is. It really is. It's
It was a vision of me with a book sitting underneath a tree on a hill.
perfect.
So maybe I just need to go up on a hill and sit underneath it.
That's your chill time.
Yeah, but I will definitely take what you said and start applying it in my life.
Good. I'm glad I could be of service.
Mm, I appreciate it.
That's what I'm here for.
Hmm.
For however many years I have left, that's what I'm here for. I'm just making myself a little note that I'm partnering with you on subduing mental chaos.
Okay.
These things work out. Even though I had a couple students for this first class, it gives us the chance to go deeper and to really get to know each other,
Yeah,
and to share things that we need to hear from each other. So it's good. It's
I
good.
think it's been beneficial.
Me too. I needed to hear this message today, and they give
Yeah.
it to me, but I don't always stop long enough to tune in. So there I go.
Well, I think I'm gonna I have a bulletin board in my room to remind me to do things every day. So I'm gonna put this one on it.
I know
So I think of it first thing in the
I do
morning.
sticky notes and I put them on my desk so that when I sit here to come up with the next phase of my creative project for the class, I'll be like, okay, Ellie, I have a partner now in subduing mental chaos. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind that I feel happy about that.
No, I'm happy about that too.
So I just want to hit my notes again to see what else I had prepared for us today. Okay. We did all that. Okay. Did you have a chance to think about the rune set you want to make?
Not really. Again, with the mental chaos, it's
Okay. So I had, did you get a chance to read the sheet over?
yes.
Okay. So there's a few different ways that we could make runes. I've done a little bit of all of them. My first rune set I just painted on stones. And I went around on local hikes and found relatively flat, roundish stones that I asked for their permission to use for that purpose. Left a little tobacco in the Native American tradition and brought them home until I had enough to do the painting.
Okay.
They're still one of the most popular ones I get when I do the room readings at the fairs, because people think the stones are old. It's, you know, I happen to like carving the wood. It's a little bit more work. I went lately and I got a branch from the lilac tree because I'd seen the wood was so pretty, but I
Yeah.
still have to sand them, and cutting them can be a bit of a chore. You can either do that um, with a hand saw, or I'm lucky enough to have a meter saw that I use. Or the easiest way, and it was actually kind of fun too. Let me see if I can find the ones. That wasn't it. I made a set from a Sculpey like material, and it was real easy to just carve into the symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to bake them in the oven for like 15 minutes at 275.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can just draw the symbol into it and it's already etched in without
Mm-hmm.
half as much work as the wood ones. I just happen to
Okay.
like using the wood ones. And I'm not sure how well they'll hold up. I'm testing that. So I was able to get from Michael's. I don't know if you have a Michael's near you or not.
In in Oneana.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got Sculpey, which is supposed to be the original one. I don't
Yeah.
like it. This one is like it, but it's called Craft Smart.
Okay.
It's a little easier to shape. I mean, you might like Sculpey, but I found it, I have arthritic hands. It was denser. It was harder to shape. This one I just cut into squares. It's got 8 little rows. You could just drive a knife through, and then I just divided it into thirds and I had 24.
Oh, okay.
So you might look to see what you want to do. But I'm testing it. So I made a set from Sculpey anyway. So I made these a little more rounded. That's Bercano from the third 8, and there's Fehu. But what I don't like about this, it's, see how it cracked there when I was shaping it? And it
Yeah.
wasn't easy to smooth back. So I'm thinking that this might be breakable if I put any force on it. I don't like that idea. I like
No.
flexibility. So, I mean, you can do whatever calls to you. I know that, let me think of her name. I'm drawing a mind blank, but she's also part of the ISD group. Um, Come on, Susan. She took the Rune class and she made a set out of the Sculpey. I haven't had
Okay.
a chance to ask her how they've done for her. And then the pouch, you could probably get, what I like about working with leather is I don't have to worry about seams.
Okay.
But if you're good at sewing, you could probably throw something together on the sewing machine. Or if you want
Well,
something that you don't have to worry about seams and you don't want to get leather, you could always get ultra suede, which I know they
okay.
sell at Joann's, and I don't believe it has any, you don't have to worry about the edging like you do. I mean, I just had a bunch of leather left over from a few years ago. I tried doing a leather business, which was fun, but I got bored. Well, it was actually trying to sell the stuff that wasn't working.
Oh.
But it's just you're at this craft show, then you got to home and make things, and if you don't make sales, it's like, yeah, I'm tired of spending money that I'm not making back.
Right.
So anyway, um, so my idea was, whether 2 hours is going to be enough time for us to make a set of runes, or if you wanted to work ahead of time and make your own set and then get together and then we could do some kind of a group ritual to wake them up.
Okay. Well, as you know, I won't be available next week.
Well, then you'll just have to watch the video.
Okay. And
Part of the, I plan to post them.
yeah.
I probably have to create a web page for that if I don't run into
Uh
technical glitches again. My other idea is to put it up on YouTube within a private group that only the class participants can access. So
okay. but I kind of would like to work on them on my own right now, just to get a make it a meditative practice.
Mhm. And that's often how we like to work, you know.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do something during the fourth class to bring it all together,
Okay.
you know. So some kind of ceremony, maybe we'll paint them together.
Okay.
Something, you know, the the little engravings, the etchings are easiest to do with a toothpick,
Okay.
you know, and you can get, I like to use golden paint because I just happen to like the product. And they have a golden acrylic flow that's just already soft enough that you can just put it in your little watercolor bin or whatever you've got
Yeah.
and dip the toothpick in and just fill in the little etching. And it doesn't even take much paint at all.
That would uh, that would be good. I got a bunch of paint, so from Golden.
Hmm.
So
You're not too far away from there, are you?
no, I'm not.
I keep saying I want to get down to the factory, but I have never had time, Norwich is a little bit of a travel for me.
I understand.
So we could think about how we want to, bring the group energy into blessing our own rune sets.
Yeah, that would be great.
Whether we did a little ritual of going around the circle and announcing our intention or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I
Sorry,
will
I'm a
say,
little spacey right now.
oh, that's okay. We've been doing some intense work. Don't forget to drink a lot of water when you come out of this, because when you do the spiritual work, you need it.
Yeah, I have a jug right here.
So we have a little time if you want to ask questions or anything.
Not right now, other than I am gonna email you my address for a book.
Okay.
Would you like any payment for that?
I'm just going to send you this one.
Okay. Feel free to write.
Autograph it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting quite the collection of those
Yep. Well,
from
there's a
people
lot
I
of
know.
good authors these days who are doing their own self-publishing.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna go ground myself if
Okay.
we're all set to.
Okay, so if we are done, I'm just going to say thank you, Odin, for being with us during this class of establishing the first eight of the runes. And we look forward to invoking you again next week when we come together, or I come together to do this class for the second eight. Alu,
Thank,
amen. Oh,
well, thank you, Susan.
you're welcome, Ellie. Thank you for giving me the chance to be of service.
And thank you for that message. I'm feeling a little bit more grounded now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
So, you too.
Okay. Any questions, just email. I'm pretty busy during the week, so if I don't get around to answering right away, but I will.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Bye.